What's up, you guys? I have not been uploading very many videos this year. I'm sorry about that. I've been very busy with my day job of translating, and also I've been writing novels and working towards getting those published. So I'm bringing you an old school style video today of just me talking in real time as I'm making something. So you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I'm making a Bananamisu. I've never made this before. Tiramisu is my husband's and my favorite dessert. And you really cannot improve on that dish. I have made I've made tiramisu cheesecake. I've had tiramisu ice cream and like tiramisu in different forms, but I think tiramisu as is pretty much perfect. I don't expect that this will be better than classic tiramisu, but what brought this on is I hosted a queer tea party last week, and so I had a dish of every color of the rainbow. And for blue, since blue is not a natural food color, I decided to make banana cupcakes. And I frosted them with vanilla buttercream and garnished them with blueberries, and they were very cute. But the result is I have all these leftover cake scraps of blue colored banana cake. This is banana cake. It is delicious. It tastes like bananas. There's real bananas in there. There's banana liqueur in there. It's kind of a not appetizing color, but we'll deal with that. Anyway, this is just extra cake scraps that I cut off when making those cakes pretty. So cake scraps are great for things like trifles and tiramisu. Usually you use lady fingers in a tiramisu. I'm just using old pieces of cake. So I'm kind of breaking these up into littler pieces, and I'm going to stick them in a 250-degree oven for, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes, however long it takes just for these cake scraps to dry out. Because right now, they've been in the freezer, actually. I was saving them, until I could use them, which is now. And yeah, they're kind of moist because it's a moist cake, and we want these to be dry so they will soak up the booze and other stuff, and so that they will kind of soak up the custard once that's put in. So yeah, it does not look at all appetizing, but trust me, it tastes really good. All right, so I'm just gonna put this in the oven and let that dry out a bit. Now, while the cake is drying out, I'm going to be making the custard part of the Bananamisu. So that first involves separating 6 egg yolks. I'm saving the whites in this little container. I'll make an egg white omelet out of them later at some point. Since I'm not doing anything special with the egg whites later that requires them to be beautifully clean, it's actually totally okay if I break the yolks a little bit and get a little bit in there. No pressure. And incidentally, I have a garden now, for those of you who have not been following me for the last year. We live in a house now, and there is a garden, so I compost. Wow, these egg yolks are very breaky. Good thing it doesn't matter if I break them or not. I know there are other tricks to not breaking egg yolks. I'm usually very good at not breaking the egg yolks, getting ahead of my comments section here. But I'm just not being careful right now. I'm being lazy because, like I said, it doesn't matter if I actually break a little egg yolk or if I get a tiny bit of egg white in with the yolks. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I should have been counting. I think that was 3. It's hard to cook while you're on camera. Ooh, all of these egg yolks are breaking. Wow. Yeah, like I know if you use your fingers, you're less likely to break the yolks. People say if you break the egg on the countertop instead of the edge of the bowl, you're also less likely to break the yolk. I find if I do that, I just shatter the shell into a bunch of little pieces, and then it's hard to get them out of the egg. And then while I'm trying to pick them out, I break the yolk. So whatever method works best for you, use that method. Don't let anybody tell you that their way is superior to yours if you know that you're doing a good job. Okay, I have my egg whites with a little tiny bit of yolk in it, but that's okay because I'm just gonna turn those into an omelet later. I'm not gonna make a meringue or anything with them. And then I got my 6 egg yolks here. All right, you don't add very much to these egg yolks. Now, incidentally, I'm doing the more complicated version of tiramisu. If you want an easier version of tiramisu, literally all you have to do is whip mascarpone and cream together until they become homogeneous, and like add some booze and add some powdered sugar and layer that with ladyfingers soaked in coffee and liqueur, and that's tiramisu. But the version I make uses an egg custard, and I think it's worth the extra effort because I like making my life difficult. You might not think it's worth it, but try it. It's fun. 6 egg yolks, 1/3 cup of sugar. Now, usually in traditional tiramisu, you're supposed to actually add Marsala wine. I've never done that. I have never even bought Marsala wine. I always add either Kahlua or now I add Frangelico, which is a hazelnut liqueur. But today, since I'm doing Bananamisu, I'm adding this banana liqueur, 1/3 cup. You're also, in my recipe, it says you're supposed to add water, but I found that that just makes it watery. It doesn't really help. So, was that too much banana liqueur? Who knows? We'll find out later. I kind of suspect it'll be okay because, like, aside from the banana cake, there's no bananas in this Bananamisu. I really want it to have banana flavor. So I've got the booze and the egg yolks and the sugar, and now I'm just gonna stick them. I have this pot with a little bit of water. It's gonna come up to a gentle simmer. And this 8-cup measuring bowl fits like perfectly in there. I love this as a double boiler. This is where my camera doesn't really go at a great angle, but that's okay. And now this next part is very boring. It involves a lot of standing and hovering over the stove for like 10 to 15 minutes. Ideally you use room temperature eggs, but I always forget to make them room temperature, so it takes a little longer, that's all. And you just beat this. So we're going to whip this over the double boiler until it becomes nice and thick and custardy, and it reaches a temperature of about 165 to 170 degrees, and that'll take about 10 minutes at least. So I'll come back. Incidentally, I have some of the banana cakes from the tea party left over. I stuck them in the freezer. I had to take the blueberries off because frozen blueberries are not that great. But yeah, fun fact, a lot of cakes freeze really well. You just take it out and defrost it to room temperature and it's practically like new. So I just want to show you, this is what the mixture looks like after about 3 minutes, and it's at almost 100 degrees. It's all foamy, frothy. And this is the mixture after another couple minutes after that. I don't know how well you can see this, but it is really foamy, really frothy, and it's about 130 degrees now. See how beautifully luscious and thick it's getting? Let's check the temperature. Ooh, it is almost 140, and I can hear the water boiling beneath it, so I'm gonna turn this down. Okay, so I think I said it needed to be like 165 to 170 earlier. That was wrong. It really should be about 160, which this is pretty much. So we are done. Need to set this aside to come to room temperature. Meanwhile, I have been periodically checking on these cake scraps. I think they've been in there. You can tell that moisture is coming off of them because they're fogging up my camera. They've been in there for, I want to say, 15 to 20 minutes now. They're still a little bit moist, so I'm still going to leave them in there for a little bit longer. Okay, my cake is out of the oven. Maybe you can hear that it's nice and dry now. I'm just going to let it dry off more and cool off a little bit. Now for classic tiramisu, I have my Joy of Cooking recipe right here. You soak the cake in coffee and booze. That's what you do for traditional tiramisu, but I'm doing Bananamisu. I want it to have a banana chocolate sort of flavor profile. So I'm going to, instead of coffee, I mean coffee would probably work okay with banana, but chocolate is always a little undernote in tiramisu as well. So I'm just gonna brew up a little cup of very watery cocoa, I guess. I'm just going to, I don't know, a spoonful or two of cocoa powder into this Male Tears mug. And you're supposed to do about 2 tablespoons of rum or brandy according to the original recipe. I usually just use Kahlua to amp up the coffee flavor. And since I'm doing a chocolatey Bananamisu, I'm gonna use creme de cacao chocolate liqueur. I'm hesitating because I did taste the custard that I just made, and it does taste banana-y, but it's a little bit subtler than I thought it was going to be. And I want to make sure this tastes like banana, so I'm going to do half chocolate and half banana liqueur, just to really amp that up. This banana liqueur, by the way, it's pretty nice. It tastes kind of like artificial banana, but not in an off-putting way. It was like the second cheapest brand at the liquor store. And cocoa powder notoriously does not like to dissolve, especially in cold liquid. Hot liquid, it dissolves much easier. So I'm gonna add some hot water in a minute. It'll help neutralize some of the raw booziness of the booze too. I'm not that big a fan of alcohol personally. I've actually warmed up to it a bit in my older age. Like when I was in my 20s and 30s, I didn't really get it. Now I'm in my 40s and I'm kind of like, oh, I kind of get it. Alcohol tastes okay in small quantities. But I like to take that slight edge off. So add some water. Again, this is the first time I'm making this. This is an experiment. So I don't know if this will work very well as a good little coffee substitute. I suspect so though. Coffee and chocolate are actually quite similar. So that needs to also cool down to room temperature, as does the cake, as does this custard thing. I think I'll take a shower while that happens. Okay, now we are at the part of the recipe where it's kind of the same as the original tiramisu. So I'm just using the same spatula I was using to stir my custard because it's all going to get combined together anyway. And I got some mascarpone. I already used a few tablespoons. This was another leftover from my Pride tea party. I had for purple some lavender shortbread cookies that I frosted with a mixture of mascarpone and blackberry jam, because that makes purple when you put them together. So I have like most of a tub of mascarpone left over. And the tiramisu recipe calls for about 12 to 14 ounces, and this whole thing is 16 ounces, so that worked out perfectly. It's almost like I planned it. So this is where if you wanted to make the lazy version of tiramisu, I would just use extra mascarpone and extra cream and add some powdered sugar and put the booze directly in here, and instead of making the egg custard, and that'll be the easier version. I'm going to use the dirty beaters to scrape that off because I'm going to use these dirty beaters to whip it. Less work for me. And I have another leftover from the tea party. I made my own clotted cream, and because I used ultra pasteurized cream, a lot of the cream didn't actually clot, and this is all that I have left over. Thankfully, the tiramisu recipe calls for some cream, about a half a cup of it. This is a third of a cup measuring cup, so I'm just going to do an overflowing third of a cup. And there, now I'm almost done with my leftover unclotted cream. Nothing is going to waste in this house. Then the only other thing you add to this is some dessert MSG, otherwise known as vanilla. I've been watching a lot of Future Canoe. You're supposed to do like 2 teaspoons, but I'm just doing 1 about, because I don't want to overpower the banana flavor. And you just whip these until they come together. See, what did I tell you? Whipped up nicely. It only took like a minute or 2. And now we combine this mascarpone cream mixture with the custard I made earlier. Between the egg yolks and the banana liqueur, it's a lovely yellow in color. When I combine it with the blue cake, it's probably not going to be lovely. And this looks like it's not going to combine, but it will, trust me. See? Beautiful. Okay, so awkward, but I got a little overzealous. And this cake is very dry. There's still some moisture in the inside. That just means it'll be extra thirsty for our... So this process is usually a lot cleaner if you use ladyfingers, or in my case, I just bake a sponge cake in this very pan that I use for the tiramisu. I bake like a small, short sponge cake that I cut in half. So I have a solid sheet of sponge cake and then another solid sheet of sponge cake. I don't have that this time though. Instead, I have a bunch of little bits of blue banana cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this soaking liquid and I'm going to put some in the bottom. Usually, you know, when I've seen other people make tiramisus and when they're using ladyfingers instead of whole pieces of sheet cake like I do, they will like fill a dish with the soaking liquid and they'll soak the pieces of cake in the dish and then put them into another tiramisu dish. I like having as few dirty dishes as possible, so now this is where it's going to get a little creative. Part of the reason why I like baking my own cake for tiramisu instead of using ladyfingers is this. You can see it right now. The cake is kind of uneven when you put it down. Even if you use ladyfingers, there's going to be gaps and stuff. I like a nice solid piece of cake down there so that everything is nice and even. And I suspect that I'm gonna be actually a little like short on cake. I'm not gonna have as much as I ought to have for this tiramisu. I honestly probably should have made like a half recipe of the custard and made like a smaller one. But again, this is an experiment. We're learning. I should probably try to make the bottom layer at least like be solid cake. So I'll try to fill in some of these gaps. It's really hard for me to tell how much of the cake scraps I have used at this point. It's probably good. See, it's already soaked up quite a bit of the soaking liquid. I'm just gonna spoon more over. You're supposed to use a whole cup and a half according to the recipe. I've only made a cup. I usually only make a cup of soaking liquid. And the cake will soak up custard in addition to the soaking liquid. I'm gonna let this actually sit for a bit before I add the custard. Okay, our beautiful blue teal colored soaked cake pieces are ready. So now I'm going to put half of this custard mixture in here. This is another thing where if I was using a solid sheet of cake, it would be so much easier for me to spread this nicely and have it look really nice. We are going to try our best. Offset spatulas make everything easier. I want that to settle into the cracks. And now this is something I would do for regular tiramisu. I am a shaved chocolate person with tiramisu. I don't like cocoa powder on tiramisu because you inhale it and then you choke and it's not a good time. Just get yourself a nice piece of dark chocolate like this and grate it on with a microplane. It's much better. Okay, ready for layer number 2. I'm gonna soak the cake separately from this dish because it's just not gonna work. All these little pieces are just way too crummy. Okay, I added the rest of the cake soaked and it looks very cursed. Let's cover that up. Anyway, I'm covering up the very cursed looking bits of soaked cake scraps with custard. Hopefully this will give me a passable thumbnail. I do have a tiramisu video on this channel that's several years old. I think I made a heart-shaped tiramisu for Valentine's Day. I have since perfected my technique. I feel like it's probably time for me to update that video, except, you know, there's already so many YouTube cooks over here that are much better than I am and do a lot more professional work than I do. And I know most of y'all are subscribed to this channel for like cheap and easy food hacks. And sorry I don't do exclusively that kind of video. I like to just make what I feel like making. So this has to chill in the fridge at least overnight before it will be proper tiramisu. So I will check back tomorrow. It's actually slicing kind of like a cake. I was worried it would be soupy. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. You can only like slightly see the blue. Okay, let's give it a taste. It's really good. As I suspected, I can't really taste much banana. It's kind of a hidden note. I'm tasting chocolate more. For dessert, I cobbled together from leftover ingredients. This is really nice. If I were to make an actual Bananamisu in the future, I would probably put pureed banana in the actual custard. Like I would probably replace all or some of the eggs with banana puree that I cook. If I had raw bananas, I could have also put those in, but I did not have any raw bananas. Anyway, this is delicious. And do not get me wrong, it is quite good. I do think regular tiramisu is better, but I'd say overall this is a pretty successful experiment.